Our top focus on right now. The United States has approached Egypt and Qatar to discuss a final take-it-or-leave-it deal for Israel and Hamas. According to Washington Post report, the mediators are planning to put forth the deal in the coming few weeks. A senior administration official quoted in the report said that the failure of the two sides to accept the deal would mark the end of the US-led negotiations. The hostage or ceasefire deal faces renewed emergency or urgency in the backdrop of Hamas's killing of Israeli-American Harish Goldenberg-Polin and also 5 other hostages. US President Joe Biden said he was heartbroken by the killing of Goldberg-Polin and other captives. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke to Goldberg-Polin's parents and expressed her condolences. She said, "My heart breaks for the pain and anguish." Biden and Harris will attend a meeting in the White House Situation Room with the administrators and the top negotiators. In a statement, the White House said that the discussions will discuss on the efforts to drive towards a deal that secures the release of the remaining hostages. Well, earlier in the day, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and his US counterpart Lloyd Austin spoke on phone, wherein Austin expressed his deepest condolences to the families of all the hostages and affirmed that Hamas must be held accountable for their crimes. And well, for more on this, we were earlier joined by Peter Kuznick, Professor of History and Director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. We asked him if the demonstrations in Israel will finally pursue the Israeli Prime Minister to agree for a ceasefire deal. This is what he had to say.
The Israeli Prime Minister needs to take a morally correct stance. He's been on the wrong side of morality and the wrong side of history ever since the retaliation for the horrific attack that occurred on October 7th that killed 1,200 Israelis and took another 250 hostage. But the Israeli people have had enough of this. The Israeli people certainly hate Hamas and blame Hamas for the atrocities that occurred. However, they say enough is enough, and we need to end the fighting and bring home the remaining hostages who are dying probably by the day. But there are more than 100 hostages remaining, and probably several score of them are still alive. And so, led by the hostage families, the Israeli public is standing up to Netanyahu. The estimate is that about 70% of the Israelis are opposed to what Netanyahu is doing and blame Netanyahu. So if his government does topple, we're going to likely get a more progressive government in there. You've got he's in a coalition with extreme right-wingers who are basically fascists, who are against the Palestinians, hate the Palestinians, and don't want to give any rights to the Palestinians, and are opposed to a two-state solution. But that is out of step not only with the Israeli public now, but with the international community. So the fact that the American leaders, Biden and Harris, are making this possible by providing the weapons means that they're accessories to a genocide. So they themselves are liable for war crimes prosecution. So the world sees this as a black and white issue now. Not that the world supports Hamas and what Hamas represents, but they see what Israel is doing and that it is against the will of the Israeli people and the rest of the world population. It's a tragic situation, but something has to be done immediately.